Hello and welcome to the Tinker Cards video gallery. Today I'm going to work with the Mixed Media Grunge set by STAMPlorations and some chalks. I'm basically thinking about going back to basics and rooting through your cupboards and see what you got there, and if you're anything like me, you got like loads and loads of stash stacked away somewhere that you hardly ever use or you haven't used for a long time. So I think it's quite nice to sometimes rediscover what you got. So this is the Mixed Media Grunge set, and it's got like all these stamps in there to add texture. And I thought if we work with this one here, that would give quite a nice sort of silhouette image that you could cut up, and you could do like 3 little panels, and that should work quite well with chalk. As usual, I just do it off the cuff. So I got my 3 pieces here already cut, 3 pieces of white card, and the other thing that I need is a watermark ink, pigment ink, and I need my chalks. So I've had these literally for ages. It was one of the first things I ever got. Now they were broken, and so they have been used relatively well. It's got a slightly shimmer to them. So I'm going to use this pink, this lilac, and this slightly turquoisey colour here. Let me just pop them across the top. I'm just trying to see which way best to organise my workspace. So I'll be doing one panel after another. And the best thing to use is cotton. Now I haven't got any cotton, but if you got like these type of cotton pads, if you pull them apart, you get the cottony surface that you need, the softer one, to pick up the chalk with. Right, so let's get stamping first time round. Let's just see, so that's one, and get it sort of aligned towards the bottom in the middle as much as I can. And I'm just stamping now. So that's my first panel. Let's just pop the lid on there. Take my pad apart here and pick up some of the pink chalk. Let's start with that. You can, if you want to, sort of like scrape the surface a little with your craft knife, and then all you do is you lightly rub it across your Versamark stamping. And I think I need to be a little bit more heavy-handed to pick up more of the chalk pigments. And as you can see, something is happening here, and I'm rubbing it only very, very lightly. I know those of you who've got pan pastels probably think they're much better. I'm not sure. For me, the jury is really out as to what works best. I haven't got any pan pastels. I didn't feel like going down that route. So now this is not working as well as I had hoped. This is probably because I'm rubbing too hard. Well, that means take 2 for my little video. Just seeing if I can get this rubbed off. Now, it could also be that the pigment ink itself hasn't transferred properly on my piece of card. So So I've just got this piece of card and I'm just going to use that for something else. So just going back to basics, working with chalk. Didn't seem to want to work that well. Let's just see what I can do with this. So this is just basically experimenting. And the question is, what's going to happen next if I do X, Y, or Z? Because sometimes with these ink pads you don't quite know how well you've inked it up either. So it could have been that it wasn't inked up fully. So let's just see. This doesn't do anything. Let's try it again. This is definitely quite well inked. So let's see what happens here. I mean, this I could just quite nicely stamp over in black, which I might do for the center one then. So let's just see. Hoping that this is transferred better. I also don't know whether the card that I'm using is actually the ideal. As I said, I always tend to do things at times probably a little bit haphazardly, but I just love trying things out rather than thinking too much about what I'm going to do. So let's just see. I'm really just dabbing this on now more than anything. I'm thinking maybe I should have stamped this before, this image, to see what it would turn out as, because I'm not quite sure what this is going to do. It's not coming out with this either, and I'm pretty sure I've transferred plenty of ink here. Right, I'm just going to make myself another panel of these, and then at some point I'm going to stamp on them with just as a black silhouette. So let's just say that this hasn't worked quite as well as I wanted. So I've got another nice pinky panel. Yep, so I think that's okay. So let's just get another third pink panel done. And then I'm just going to do something slightly different. Because it could be that my ink doesn't properly adhere to this card. It's just some sort of cut off that I've used, and I just wanted to use it up. It's probably a little bit rough rather than smooth enough, so it might be better with slightly smoother cardstock. So let's leave these three panels to one side for the moment. I'll probably sort of black or emboss on them or something like that. I think that might be quite nice. Right, so let's pick this up, and I've got something else up my sleeve that I wanted to try, but I haven't quite as yet. So let's just pop this to one side. Now I wanted to try and use a similar technique, but try and use some old, oh, what's it called again? eyeshadows that I've got rather than the chalks. I've got another 3 pieces here. I'm going to clean the stamp first, so give it a really good rub. And let's see what happens there. If it doesn't happen, I'll just think, if it doesn't work, I mean, I just think I keep stum about it and don't tell anybody what I've tried. So I've got some old eyeshadows that I've had for quite a few years and I haven't really used. And I'm so highly unlikely to use again. So I've just popped them to one side here so you can see them there. So they've got quite nice bright colours. So let's see. Let's get this stamp out again. It should actually stamp as a silhouette. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't, to be honest. So maybe it's not defined enough to really be picked out, but I'm going to try it anyway. I'm sort of determined to make this work, actually. Let's see. So next, we're just trying this here. Let's just see. Let's stamp that down quite well. And peel this off. There is an image on there, I can see this now, which actually I wasn't able to do before, so maybe it just took a couple of goes. I'm just going to use the applicator from here and just pick up some of the eyeshadow, and then I'm just going over this, and oh, this picks it up quite well. It's going to be very delicate for the moment. So I'm just adding, you can start to see the pattern here. So I'm going to pop it up to the camera a bit more in a minute. So this is what I had hoped the effect that I'd hoped to get with the chalks. I'm getting now with the eyeshadows, which is actually quite nice. I'm just very lightly brushing over there to use with my brush to get rid of the excess, really. So just taking it nearer to the camera. There you go, with the light, so you can see the pattern has been picked up. This is going to be quite a delicate little card. And it's really nice and shimmery. So that is one. And I'm going to do another one. So I wasn't successful with chalks. Maybe they're sort of a bit too coarse. I don't quite know exactly. And I've used these chalks before and they've always been okay. Or maybe the cotton wool didn't work. And here I'm actually using the applicator that came with the eyeshadow. So let's do a next one. Okay, so I thought I might use another color for this here. Let's go in with the, shall I go with the teal here? That might look quite nice and might give a really nice effect. So again, just very lightly I'm going over this, and you can see it's because it's a stronger, a darker colour, you can see the pattern a little better. And this is what I'd hoped I'd get with the chalks. But I'm just so glad that I got another use for these eyeshadows, which I tend to not to be able to wear eyeshadow a lot because my eyes getting too sensitive with it. So I've more or less given up, and it would be quite nice to use this particular one because it was actually quite an expensive one. It's a really expensive make, so I've just revived it to use with my stamps, so that's really good. Let's just take a little bit back off again. So that's my second panel. And then I wanted to use some purple as well with it. Just because they're sort of next to each other, and I think they look okay. So let's just do this. Stamp again. And rub it down. I mean, stamp it properly, not really rubbing it off. I mean, so yeah, I can see that. And I'm going to go in with lilac now. And again, you can see that the pattern of the stamped image comes out really, really well here. Just really add to it as well as you can. So that's my third bit. Just blending the edges in to give them a little bit of colour. And what I'll be doing is, before I fully assemble this card, I've got to go out shopping anyway, and I'll get myself some cheap hairspray as a fixative, because I really do not want these to rub off. So I had a little pre-cut panel here which I thought might go quite nicely for a pastel-y look. I can assemble my I can assemble this, and then I thought I'd just pop this on a white base card. Might do a few sort of doodled lines, just something to go with this really nice delicate look, or maybe not. This is what I'm placing it here because I thought I might actually use one of the texture stamps and maybe add a little bit of texture to my slightly turquoisey panel. But I'm thinking this just looks so nice and delicate on its own that I'm pretty much just going to assemble it like this, and I'm probably I might not even bother putting a sentiment on. I'll have to see how things are going when I actually assemble this fully. But first I need to get some hairspray to fix the eyeshadow down, and then I can see where I'm going with this. So this full project will be on the Spotlight post at STAMPlorations, and it's probably going to be something Monica finds a surprising use for eyeshadows. What I will do as well is, because I've started this year off, I'm just going to stamp and black emboss the same stamp on as a silhouette, and maybe even cut this the same color panel, because I think that would look quite nice with a black embossed image. Okay, so that's the idea. So both cards will be on my blog on Thursday, which will be the 9th of April 2015. So I hope you enjoyed watching. Thanks for popping by, and if you like it, please give me the thumbs up and maybe subscribe to my channel. And the cards, as I said, will be on the STAMPlorations blog, which is STAMPlorations.blogspot.com, or they will also be on my Tinker Cards blog, that is tinkercards.blogspot.co.uk. Thank you for watching. Have a lovely day. Bye.